registered nurse, and today I'm making a video, another car chronicles. I'm driving right now to go see my dad, and I was like, you know what, I really need to make an update, give you guys like a life update, update on my nursing journey, my orientation, my nurse residency program that I'm in, and how that has been. It's been a hot minute since I've made a video, so I was like, you know what, I really need to make one. So here I am. So to give you guys an update, right now I just started my phase 4 of my orientation, my hospital orientation. So I made a video about my phase 1, and then after my phase 1, after I made that video, I went into phase 2, and I completed phase 2. I didn't make a video about that. I should have, but I didn't. And then I started phase 3 of my orientation, and I just completed that recently. It was like last week. Yeah, literally last week. My sense of time is off, but yeah, I completed that. And now I'm in phase 4. So to kind of give an overview, so my phase 2 of orientation, that was when in my orientation, I would take care of 2 patients, right? So I would take care of 2 patients, and I have my preceptor. That went well. It went pretty well for me. You know, of course, it's an adjustment, like going from phase 1 to phase 2, like taking on 2 patients. You know, on my floor, the maximum number of patients we have is 3 patients, because I work on an IMU, right? So taking care of 2 patients, that was an adjustment. You know, I would have good days and I would have bad days, or, you know, not necessarily bad days, but just days that were rough, which is normal. And overall, I was doing okay. I was not, you know, I wasn't struggling too hard. Of course, I was learning a lot every single day, you know, which is totally normal. So that went on, and then, so each phase, I don't know if I've explained this in my last video, but in my hospital, for my orientation, each phase is 9 shifts. So I worked my 9 shifts over the course of several weeks, because, you know, we would have shifts, and then we would also have classes and module days and stuff like that we would have to do. So I would do that. I did my phase 2, and then I started my phase 3, which is taking care of all 3 patients. And I will tell y'all, that hit me so hard. Like, it just, I felt like I hit a wall. Like, it was so difficult, taking care of all 3, managing everything, managing their medications, procedures, just all of it. It was just hard. Now, granted, of course, I had my preceptor who's there to support me and help me, which of course I need, right? Because I'm new and I don't know everything. But I will tell y'all, like, when I started phase 3, I want to say, like, the majority of the time, like, I felt very inadequate. I started to have a lot of issues with, you know, on a personal level, I started having a lot of issues with things like self-doubt, feeling inadequate, feeling dumb, feeling like I'm not good enough for this, I'm not cut out for this, maybe I'm not meant for this. Like I started having all of these feelings because it got really hard. Like taking care of all 3 patients, it's very difficult. Every day I'm learning, trying to figure out like my flow, like how I do things. Every day I'm trying to figure out like how to prioritize, like what do I do first? Like which patient do I see first? You know, that kind of a thing. Of course, you know, being new, being a new nurse, being a new grad, of course I don't have that down, which is totally normal. And it's something that I'm learning and I'm growing, so it's okay. But yeah, it's been hard. Phase 3, like I said, almost every shift, like I would have some good days, you know, everything goes well, everything runs smooth. But a lot of days, I mean, I would come out of work just feeling really down, feeling really disappointed, feeling really defeated, right? That's the word, defeated. Like I would come out of work feeling defeated all the time. Now my preceptor is great. They're a great teacher. They teach me well. You know, they give me lots of feedback throughout the day about what I'm doing and how I'm doing, and and everything. You know, and the thing is like my preceptor will tell me, you know, he's like, you're doing good. He was like, you know, I want you to know that, like, you're doing good. Because my preceptor, you know, he used to be a clinical instructor, and he's been a nurse for over 20 years. So he was telling me, he was like, I can tell you, like, from my experience being a nurse and being a clinical instructor, he's like, you're doing really good. Like, you're grasping it every day, you know. But of course, you know, there are things that we need to work on, right? There are things that I have to work on, which is natural. But on top of that, you know, like I said, like I'm always getting feedback, you know, and of course it's all positive feedback, but it's feedback, it's criticism, you know. So for me personally, like I will tell y'all, like I've been struggling a lot with, you know, taking criticism, accepting criticism. You know, it's really hard because for me, like I'm a perfectionist, right? So for me, when I get criticism, it really affects me, you know. It makes me feel bad. It makes me feel like I'm not good enough, you know. And then I start getting into that spiral of negativity. Like, you know, I would get criticism throughout the day, and then after work I'm thinking about it, and then I'm like, and then I start going down that negative spiral, you know. Oh, I'm not good enough, I'm, you know, oh, I missed this, I missed that, or I didn't do that very well, yada yada yada, you know. And then it's just, I start going down that spiral, and then I start feeling bad, you know. So that's what I've been struggling with. That's what I've been dealing with. Towards the end of phase 3, I started getting better. Like, I mean, and keep in mind, like I'm not doing horrible, but you know, I'm doing good. Just like my preceptor says, I'm doing good. But you know, just dealing with all these negative feelings and negative thoughts, it really weighs you down. And like I said, I come out of work feeling defeated all the time, feeling bad. Towards the end of my phase 3, I started to kind of build my confidence. Like, my confidence started going up. And my preceptor took note of that, you know. So I started feeling better. So towards the end of my phase 3, I started getting better. I started getting more confident. I'm doing things. I'm more independent. Doing patient care and passing out medications and stuff like that. So it got better. Of course, like, I'm still new. I still need help. You know, I still ask lots of questions, and you know, I need all kinds of support all the time, and that's not gonna go away anytime soon, and that's okay. You know, I'm not a bad nurse because of that. You know, I'm a new nurse. I'm a new grad. I need help when I need help. I need support when I need support, and that's totally fine. You know, that's totally normal. You know, and there are days that are hard. You know, I've had situations, I kid you not, like, the number of patients we have are 3. We have 3 patients, and I kid you not, I have been in situations where it's like I literally have to be in 3 places at once, you know, and it feels horrible. I feel helpless. I feel hopeless. You know, of course, my preceptor's helping me out, and I do the best I can, right? As I always do. I always do the best I can. You know, but it's definitely hard. So it's been a struggle, like, dealing with all of these things, dealing with all these feelings, like I had to go back to therapy. I was like, I really need to go back to therapy, so that I can deal with all these feelings and deal with all these emotions and all these thoughts. Because like I said, I'm a perfectionist, so, you know, I am my own worst critic. I am, you know, yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, I am my own worst critic, and so that's something that I've definitely been working on and dealing with, is reframing the way that I think about all of this, and reframing the way that I approach all of these things. You know, for me, I will tell y'all, like, I've been in therapy. I just started therapy. I've only had 1 session, but in my first session, and this is something that I've learned as well, and, you know, all of this is normal. You know, all of the feelings that I have, they're normal. You know, for those of you guys watching, like, this is bound to happen for you guys as well, so I'm giving you guys a heads up. Like, you're gonna have these same feelings that I'm having. You're gonna be going through the same thing that I'm going through. Hopefully not as bad, you know, but this is normal. Like, this is a normal part of the learning process, you know. So for me, it's always a matter of taking things into perspective. Like, you know, being a nurse is hard. It is hard. Being a nurse is very, very hard. It's very difficult. It's very challenging. It's, you know, at times it's very stressful. Every day I'm learning more and more how to do things and how to handle things. And I've gotten better. I've improved a lot, you know, throughout my phases. Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, like, every day I go into work and I've always improved. Even though it seems like I am not improving, even though with my own perception, I feel like I'm not doing good enough, or I'm doing bad, whatever, you know, it's just a matter of, like, for me, getting out of my own head and just accepting, you know, the reality of things. Like, the reality is I'm new. I'm a new nurse. I'm a new grad. I don't know everything, and that's okay. Of course, like, I have support wherever I need it, and whenever I need it, it's always there. I'm never alone. If something is going on with my patient, I have, you know, my coworkers there to back me up. Stuff like that, you know, that's there. And like I said, for me, you know, going into phase 3 or coming out of phase 3, you know, I've been going, you know, I decided to go back to therapy so that I can really work on these feelings and work on these emotions and tackle them and reframe and, you know, change the way I think so that I'm not, you know, dealing with all of this. And so far it's been good. It's been very positive. I think it's been very beneficial so far, even though like I've had one session with my therapist. Still, these are things that I'm working on. So yeah, that's been the biggest thing for me. You know, right now it's very hard because I have a preceptor. Don't get me wrong, my preceptor's great, but right now and at this time during orientation, you're going through the learning process, and the learning process is hard, and it's in a way it's like it's supposed to be hard, you know. The learning process is hard, but it's supposed to be that way because, you know, how else are you going to learn, right? But in the process of, you know, going through this journey, going through orientation, I mean, I feel overwhelmed, constantly overwhelmed, you know, and those feelings kind of feed into other feelings and other emotions, and like I said, it's just this big spiral that starts to happen. So I'm learning and I'm growing. I just started phase 4. The good thing now, and I will say this now, I'm gonna be transitioning to night shift, which is great. You know, being a nurse is hard, and I will say being a nurse is really hard, especially on day shift, because, you know, day shift is just wild and just there's so much going on during the day. So, and I've learned, and I've you know, I think I've towards the end, like last week and towards the end of phase 3, like I've been getting the grasp of it, you know, taking care of 3 patients during the day. I'm on it, you know. Of course there are things I still need reminders on constantly, and of course there's still things that I get feedback on, but, you know, I started doing pretty good. Now I'm going to night shift, which is great, because, you know, I will say, like, first of all, I'm a night owl, okay? Like, I am alive during the night. Like, that's just how I am. Like, I'm a night owl. Day shift, like, for me, my commute to work, I have to wake up every day at like 4:30 and drive all the way to work. I have to drive all the way to our parking lot, the contract parking lot, drive there, and then I hop on the train, the metro, and go to the hospital, and then I go in and all that stuff. So, like, I have to wake up super early. I wake up at 4:30 in the morning, and then I have to leave my house by 5:30, and then I drive, and then I park and take the train and all that stuff. So, yeah, it's been torture. Like, I am not a morning person at all. So, yeah, it's been very hard. You know, being a nurse during the day, day shift, waking up that early, I'm just glad that I don't have to do that anymore, because like I said, it's torture. Like I said, it is torture. So I'm just glad I don't have to do that anymore, and I can work at night where I belong. So I'm looking forward to that for sure. So yeah, you know, being a nurse, it's challenging. There's a lot of growth. You know, for those of you who are becoming nurses, you guys are going to be new nurses, you guys are graduating, I will definitely say, like, it's as hard as it is, and you know, with all the negative that comes with it, the negative experiences or the negative feelings that you have, at the end of the day, there's always lots of growth. And I will say, like, at the end of the day, regardless of how hard it is, you know, the growth is definitely worth it, you know, because at the end, like, I know at the end, like, I'm gonna be a better nurse because of all of this, you know, because of all of these experiences. Like, I'm gonna find my place, I'm gonna be a better nurse because of it, and I really look forward to that. You know, and all of these things, like becoming a good nurse and really solidifying your practice and the things that you do as a nurse, all of that takes time, you know. For me, like I said, I really struggled with perfectionism, right? Like, I have to be perfect. And the thing that I've learned is that the reality is that there's no such thing as perfect. So that's something that I just have to let go. And I have to train myself to think, you know, to get rid of that way of thinking. There's no such thing as perfect, and that's okay. But in my journey and in my growth as a nurse, like, I'm learning and I'm growing, and all of the experiences that I have, good and bad, and all of the learning opportunities that I have, they're all helping me to be better. So I just have to take that as it is. So yeah. You know, for those of you who, like I said, for those of you who are watching, my biggest piece of advice, I will definitely say, take it day by day. You know, if you guys are becoming new nurses, you guys just graduated, you guys are starting your jobs, take it day by day. Treat every experience like a learning experience, because it is a learning experience, right? The good and the bad, you know, you can learn something from everything. So, you know, it's very important that you have a good mindset. For me, I think I really struggled. The reason that I've been struggling is because of my mindset. For me, like, my mindset has been detrimental for me. Like, the way that I think and my mindset, it's been the cause of so much unnecessary anxiety that I've put on myself, and so much unnecessary pressure that I've put on myself. You know, it's been the cause of so much stress that I've been putting on myself, when it's like, I don't have to, like, I don't have to think this way. I don't have to accept things this way. There's a different perspective, and there's a different way of thinking about things. So it's been a process, and that's, you know, the biggest piece of advice is also, like, you know, have grace with yourself. That has been a journey for me since the beginning, is to have grace. Since phase 1 of my orientation, I constantly have to remind myself to give myself grace at the end of the day, or during my shift. You know, because it's the learning process. Like I said, the learning process is hard. Being a new nurse is hard, but it's okay, you know. Every day I'm learning, every day I'm growing. My confidence is growing. You know, and I will say, like, the learning process, and this is something I've learned, it's not linear, you know. In my mind, I thought, I'm like, okay, you know, every day I'm going to be getting better and better and better. But, like, for me, in my experience, or in my perception, it's like the learning process is just this big roller coaster. Like, sometimes I feel like I'm doing good. Sometimes I feel like I'm doing bad. But but that's just the reality of it. And that's normal. So yeah, and that's totally normal. But then the funny thing is like my preceptor will tell me, and I will ask my preceptor, and he will always tell me, he's like, you're doing good. Like, of course, there are things you need to work on, but that's okay. But he's like, you're doing good. Like, so yeah, it's just, this is what happens when you get too in your head, like me, and you're the kind of person like I am. You're a perfectionist. You get too much in your head. It becomes detrimental for yourself. So, I will say, have a good support system, for yourself, support yourself. I will say being a nurse, it's awesome because I will work, and then I'll have, a good amount of days off. And so I spend my days off taking care of myself, going to therapy like I'm doing now, treating myself, taking care of myself. Recently I just started getting into journaling, which is good for me, stuff like that, So for all of you guys watching, all of you guys who are starting your nursing journeys, I will say it's important to give yourself grace. Take care of yourself. Even if you guys are still in nursing school, you guys are watching this, take care of yourself. You don't want to burn yourself out at any point, at any time. Whether you're in nursing school or you're a nurse, or you're a new nurse, a new grad, whatever. Don't burn yourself out. Take care of yourself. I will also say, I just had a session with a student nurse coach, and it was really cool. It was really positive. I will leave a link in the description for you guys to sign up for sessions if you guys are interested. So basically I will explain, there is a program for nurses. It's called the Integrative Nurse Coach Academy, or INCA. And that's something that I'm interested in doing. I just kind of had that realization, like I'm really interested in doing that. It's basically like, it's a program, a certification program for nurses to become nurse coaches, integrative nurse coaches. So it's all about like holistic health and things like that, and integrative health and functional medicine, things like that. So I just had a free session with a nurse coach, and she and we talked about everything. Like I kind of explained to her like so I wanted to end this video and then my phone cut off, but basically I worked with a integrative nurse coach for a free session that I had, and it was really beneficial. I thought it was really great. So you can sign up for free sessions. I'll leave a link in the description. But yeah, other than that, pretty much everything that I said in the video, it's hard. It's been hard. I've been going through it, but it's okay. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for this video. I don't know what else to say. Thank you guys so much for all your support. Thank you guys so much for asking all your questions and comments, all the likes. Thank you guys so much for following me and subscribing. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't know what else to say. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.